And we're back.
Welcome back, world. I am Brendan Mitchell, and I am on a mission from God today. So, dude, for real, I was actually... So, when dealing with chronic pain, one always confronts his higher power. And that's what I was doing when I was walking around the other day. And I was like, you know what? If there is a God, and you do make my pain go away, I will devote the rest of my life to spreading your message. Here's how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Podcast format.
Yeah.
Completely open-ended ideology.
Okay.
We accept no answers, and we don't collect any money that doesn't go from our hands to a charity.
Okay.
That's my message. And then it's going to be 3 tenets. It's going to be kind to others, be patient with others, and be understanding of others.
Okay.
That's all it is. That's all it is. And everything is fair game. So like maybe it's like the infinite tapestry of the universe, just completely random and like informing everything. And then yeah, maybe there's like a white dude with a white beard in the clouds, and he takes your dogs in after they die. Who knows? So that's my plan, but only if the pain goes away. So God, ball's in your court.
All right. Well,
That's a fucking start to a podcast.
that's how we get things rolling.
That's my first edit. Oh, by the way, and last time I was like, I don't have to do any editing in the first 10 minutes. I swore like 2 or 3 times. So
It's okay.
getting better, because I think the first episode it was like 10 times.
Yeah. You were kind of off the rails.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm still fighting my allergies, so I'm not going to be 100% today.
Every time you cough, you gotta chug for COVID.
Try again.
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Back and better than ever. So, okay, I wanted to tell you this story real quick. So I went golfing on Tuesday. I went on Thursday too, but don't tell Sam. I went golfing on Tuesday.
I won't tell her.
And I got behind. Unfortunately, I got there just later than I wanted to, and I got behind, the biggest group of old guys that were, playing their blitz or whatever. And so I was having to play a lot slower, which is usually fine, like not a big deal. But towards the last couple holes, I don't know if it's just because of their age or if they had been drinking, they really started slowing down. And there was a group of old guys behind me that they weren't a part of it, but they were, they were playing a little bit more relaxed. They were playing just having fun. They weren't very good. They're just out there to have a good time. So I talked to them, and I was like, hey, do you guys mind if I join up with you? It'll kind of slow me down. And because the guys ahead of me weren't letting me through. There was like 10 groups or something. So it just would have been a nightmare to try to get through. So playing with these old guys, and I don't think they were from around here because they were kind of asking me like touristy questions. But this one guy, and these guys are old, like they're in their 70s,
Okay.
real old. And one of them was like, do you know if there's any like plantations around here that we could go and visit? And I was like, yeah, there's like Wormslow. And then I was telling him I thought that most of the plantations would be in like South Carolina, just because of the way Savannah's set up now. I don't think there's a whole lot of there's Ford Plantation in Richmond Hill, but that was just a name. That was never called. It was never a plantation. So I know there's a lot up in South Carolina. In fact, I'm actually bartending tomorrow for the South Carolina Plantation Club. That's a very exclusive club. Yeah. So we got to go up in the boonies and find this place and serve a bunch of old people cocktails.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's real fun. Pays well. And then the guy he was like, because I was telling him about Wormslow, and I was like, it's kind of more of it's like a historical site. It's not like it's not quite how it was or whatever. And then he was like, well, are there any that are still operational? And I was like, God, I hope not.
No.
Wait. And, and I'm sure there's some that they grow stuff on the land because they have such big tracts of land, but just the way he phrased it kind of took me aback. And I'm sure he meant well, but just the way he phrased it, I was like, he kind of said it in the, like, it just, wasn't the most modern way of asking. So
you know, there was this war a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, we fixed
took care of that problem.
Yeah. We kind of decided that wasn't the best.
Yeah,
the best system.
That's not how we wanted to do business, so we fixed it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's funny though. But
what a way to start the week.
I know.
And let's get into some country music.
Yeah, I didn't have an eventful week, so we can just end on that one. You know,
rolling right into the next thing. So let's flip the coin.
All right.
Here we go. Me again.
You again?
And this isn't rigged because it was coming up record.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday when I was flipping it, it kept coming up record. So it has a chance to land on both sides.
Yeah.
So, getting things started. Lemon Squeeze and Deep Cuts, episode 4. Starting with You Lie. So this was written by Aaron, Brian, and Clara Henningsen. Recorded by the band Perry. Produced by Paul Worley. Billboard, I think it peaked at number 42. U.S. Hot Country, the subcategory, peaked at number 2. Billboard was, number 42. U.S. Hot Country, number 2. It has been certified platinum. And this is, I think their second single, if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty well received critically. A lot of people thought it was a little bit more mature than their first single. Yeah, lyrics are pretty straightforward. A lot of similes for just how bad this guy lies.
Yeah. This is one that Trish is actually a fan of the band Perry.
Yeah.
This isn't one of the songs that she loves, but she was familiar with it, and you know, it kind of follows the same trope, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Like, there's a lot of female country singers. I think every one of them has at least one of these songs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like the man done wrong, so I'm,
oh, yeah.
Gonna do some horrible things to him, and which I think is awesome. I mean, if I was dating a country music singer, I would be like on my P's and Q's all the time.
You better be.
Because unlike, and I hate to bring this up, but unlike Cardi B may be selling a product, but like the band Perry and Miranda Lambert and all those, they're selling threats, and they mean it.
They mean it. And you say you got to be on your P's and Q's because they're on a hair trigger. They're ready to, they told that story about the guitarist for Anthrax freaking out when the bottle came on stage, and from that story, he was ready for it. He was just, I'm about to, and that's country music singers in relationships. They're like, dude, make the wrong move.
Especially the women.
I'm gonna ruin your life.
Especially the women. And the fact that my wife loves those type of songs, I'm on my P's and Q's.
Yeah, that should scare you.
Yeah, because it's like she knows where we keep the knives.
I kind of want to see just the ballsiest male country singer come out with the counter to this, which is like if you don't cook dinner right, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Exactly. It doesn't work in the opposite direction.
No, it does not.
In this direction, it's like, yeah, girl power. There's a what's her name? I think she was an American Idol singer. I think it was Carrie Underwood.
Okay.
And I think she was on American Idol. But she has a country career, and she has a song like this, and the chorus is, I dug my key into the side of his pretty little souped-up four-wheel drive, carved my name into his leather seats. Like, all about, like, trashing his stuff because he's out cheating and stuff, and it's like, it's all, yeah, girl power, yeah, stick it to him. But a guy singing a song like that, like,
oh, no.
Like, I set your car on fire. I threatened to kill your new lover. It doesn't
work. That's another one that song Trish loves that one too. Yeah, so it's like, I think it's Carrie Underwood.
Does she use it as sort of like, if you've done something wrong, you start noticing a couple more of those songs creeping up in the playlist?
No, but because she knows that I already know.
It's like the Jaws music, but like it's like, oh, here's another country woman done wrong
before she gets redneck crazy.
Yeah.
So, but but yeah, I mean, I'm used to hearing like songs like this around the house because that's what Trish loves, and it's straightforward. Yeah. I mean, I know she used a lot of like metaphors and all that, and I thought it was really cool. It was actually really creative.
Yeah.
How they came up with it. And, it's just one of those things where, if you're married to one of these women, you behave yourself, young man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it was a fun listen, and it's like, I'm all for, because I'm married to a strong country woman, that I'm all
You
for
have
it.
to like it.
Yeah,
You're
I have to.
required. You sign the paperwork.
Help me.
It's in your eyes. They can see
So,
it in
yeah,
your eyes.
like-
It's like, yeah, I love her. I'm just,
It
it's a
doesn't-
great relationship, very stable.
I'm so not scared.
The fact that things don't fly around as much as they should. is good. I did want to mention one thing. A friend of mine. So this single was actually big when I was in the Anaconda Job Corps, which is like part of the civilian conservation corps. That's where I got certified in welding and stuff. Long story short, my friend up there, when this song came out, he was telling me that, so obviously the band is a group of siblings as kind of the front runners, and then they're backed. He was telling me that the family members are Joe Perry from Aerosmith's children. And I just wanted to say, hang on, let me check the clock. Nick, you're a fucking liar. That is not true. You were wrong. That they're not related to Joe Perry at all. I think they're related to some kind of artist. I looked that up.
Maybe Steve Perry? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Journey?
Yeah. Yeah. So just to clear up that little misinformation. But yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend it. Like I said, it's not my my type of music, but because my wife loves it, I hear it all the time at the house, and it's I get it, and I'm totally for that empowerment of women. I mean, I don't have a problem with a woman basically threatening to do horrible things to you if you.
I'm kind of on that same level. It's going back to the Carrie Underwood song, like, I mean, you know what kind of woman you were dealing with,
yeah.
So maybe you'll think twice before you cheat.
Yeah, you made that choice.
Yeah, all you had to do was, I always say, just go about it the right way. Just break up with her. Mm-hmm. There's heartache, but when you do the crime, you do the time.
Right.
And, I mean, she definitely committed a crime in that song.
Well, I mean,
but
I
think actually the singer in this committed a crime, sending her daddy and her brothers after him.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think that is conspiracy. So
well, but her hands are clean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that
actually
like the dawn of a mafia family
makes me think of me and Trish watch a lot of Forensic Files, and you're talking about if you can't fly right, then break up, and we are surprised at how many of these shows are centered around a spouse that kills the other spouse. And one of their reasonings was they didn't want to go through a divorce.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, now you get, 50 years to life to think about it.
Yeah, a couple of months of litigation, you get half your stuff.
Yeah, I just really didn't want to deal with all the legal trouble.
Yeah, so I just killed her. Like, what?
That just shows that they really think they can get away with it. My favorite episode that I've watched so far, I haven't seen a lot of them, but we've talked about it, is the one where the guy, like, he pushed her down the stairs and he staged it. And of course the forensic people are like, wait, why did her left shoe go this way and her right shoe go this way? And like, they show the interview tape of him in the police station, and he's like, those goddamn black shoes. Like, it was all about how he was like, I told her not to wear those when she was walking down those steps. And they were like, okay, this guy is 100%
This is the worst acting ever.
They were like, the producers are panicking. They're like, it took 15 minutes to solve this crime. How are we going to pad this out? Like, this guy obviously did it.
There's been a couple more where they've shown like the interview video of the quote bereaved husband.
Yeah.
Doing the same like spiel. It's like the Academy Awards people aren't watching you right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is so fake.
And it's bad acting for like soap opera standards.
It's terrible.
Or porn standards.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, but well, my wife knows I'm not gonna murder her in her sleep or whatever. I just don't have the luck or the time or the I'd get caught immediately. And plus she's worth more to me alive than dead anyway. So
they're gonna play this in court, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to plead my case.
All right.
But yeah, I would give it. I recommend. I mean, if you like country music and you're a tough chick and I'm all for it.
How many banjos would you rate this out of 5 banjos?
I would give it 4 banjos.
4 banjos. All right.
4 banjos out of 5.
All right. Very, very good. All right. Moving on.
All right. So I think the first one I gave you was a song called Ghost of the Sun.
That was second.
That was second. Oh, it was Isolate.
That's right. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry for being a stickler for order.
No, it's fine. Medicine,
Yeah.
which is even better. All right. So Isolate is from they're a British gothic metal band called Paradise Lost. A little brief history. They are actually one of the big 3 that they say that kind of created the gothic metal genre, between them, Catatonia, and My Dying Bride. In fact, Paradise Lost's second record was called Gothic, and that's where the term kind of spouted out.
Yeah, some kind of tropes that I picked up on is like they really like interesting rhythmic syncopation and synthesizers.
Yes.
And creepy weird vocals.
Yeah, and this was during an era where they went from the lead singer Nick Holmes. He went from like the harsh voice to more of the voice that you hear on this song and a few of the albums that kind of are around that area. It almost kind of went from being gothic metal to just gothic rock.
Okay.
And there is a difference, of course, but this is some of their quote, I guess, lighter fare. Mm-hmm. And they've actually gone back around to more of the harsher vocals and all that stuff. But
so more metal-esque.
Yeah,
kind of vocals,
but still with the gothic sense, is just his vocal range is a lot more harsh.
Yeah, so I would say out of like the stuff you've shown me where somebody's gone from a typical way of singing to trying something new, this guy's probably the best executor so far of singing a little bit. He still retains a lot of his grittiness, but without. I think he's fairly successful in terms of trying to sing in a different manner.
Yeah, and I actually prefer this type of vocal than the grittier, growly type. And it's not death metal growls, but it's a little bit grittier. But this, and I picked from this. I was trying to give you some more, I guess, upbeat gothic metal songs to kind of introduce you to it, to kind of slip your toe in, just a little bit. And as far as like the meaning of the song, it could go any way you want to. I mean, I don't really know exactly what it's about.
Yeah, it's kind of just all ties back to the title, and like I think there's a fair amount of, I would say, hope in the song, like especially in the chorus. Like it seems more optimistic than some of the verse kind of lyrics.
Yeah, but so your thoughts? I mean,
as it being the first song introducing me to the genre, it was definitely very different. Like it kind of reminded me of some more like industrial kind of stuff. So sort of like middle-aged Tool kind of with like the going for more sound elements with the synthesizers and stuff. You still have the like very driven metal kind of beat and bass and guitars. And it also kind of reminded me a little bit of like Marilyn Manson kind of stuff. I'm not super familiar with that work, just with like having atypical instruments in terms of what would be like more of a classic kind of metal setup where you have like a drummer, 2 guitarists, bass player. Especially in American metal, you don't see a lot of keyboards and synthesizers. You do in some of the, like, I would say maybe more recent kind of subgenres, but, and you were telling me this is kind of more of a European thing.
Yeah, very European. Yeah, and with the thing with the Gothic metal, you can get away with the keyboards and whatnot. And this was also an era where they were kind of leaning with a little bit of an industrial tinge to it, so you're not incorrect in like kind of getting that connection.
Yeah, it really, who it really kind of reminded me of as a European artist is like kind of is Rammstein.
Yeah,
a little bit, kind of like the techno elements, like the sort of like more danceable rhythms and stuff like that, like pretty straightforward kind of boots and cats, boots and cats.
But yeah, and this is one of my favorite Paradise Lost records. Probably my second favorite of their catalog. But I like how they went with like the softer sound, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just like the little 3 or 4 album chapter where they just kind of lighten the mood, for lack of a better statement.
Yeah.
But
still, I think just by nature of the way they compose a lot of these songs, it still like I could tell that if I dived deeper into the genre, there would be some real dark stuff.
there is.
Yeah. You were kind of telling me that before we got started.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I was thinking a lot of songs about drinking blood and murdering virgins, and
Maybe not that. Well, yeah, some of it is, but most of it's just like dealing with desperation or emptiness or, stuff like that.
so how does this translate for like, because I think there's a catch-all term, especially when I was growing up in my early and middle teens. There were the Hot Topic kids we all called gothic, or they're the goth kids. Would they listen to this kind of stuff, or they're more like, I know that the band like Bauhaus is pretty big in America in terms of the goth sort of stuff. So I was just curious as to like, would they be listening to this, or
The more metal leaning goth kids would listen to this.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say that this would be the same crowd as like that listens to The Cure or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But there might be
some
like
crossover?
that crossover. Yeah.
Okay. One of the things I found interesting is I love when bands have names that are like, I can't believe nobody's had thought of it up to that point, because Paradise Lost, by Milton, yeah, it was written long time ago. Real long. I mean, that's an old book, and I was amazed that they're kind of I think they're the first band to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just interesting, and like Pain, which is coming up later, is like nobody thought of this yet. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they came up with it, and there's nothing more gothic than the book Paradise Lost. I mean,
True.
That was Milton's answer to the Odyssey and the Iliad. It was, he wanted to have an English counterpart to those, and that's why he came up with the book it's actually a poem, but Paradise Lost.
It's like a whole book, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I haven't read it, so I'm probably speaking a lot out of time. But I know the basic story. It's Satan as the hero, right?
It kind of goes through that because it's got the 3 chapters of Paradise, Purgatory, and Inferno, and it's just kind of, you'd have to read it.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it. I've read it.
Yeah.
And you're like, of course you have.
The only thing by Milton I've read was this long poem, and it's all a metaphor for a card game. And I was like, my poetry teacher in 9th grade was super into it. I was like, this poem sucks.
Paradise Lost is it's not like a sit down on a sunny day and read.
No, and I think that's the issue I have with a lot of the classics, is they're hard to read, even if there's something I want to. And I know Lord of the Rings it's not an example of the classics, but it's an example of something that's hard to read. It's something that I wanted to read because I read The Hobbit, and then I tried to read The Fellowship of the Ring, and the first 40 pages is just describing the house, and I was like, I'm out, man. Like, that's why I like Chuck Palahniuk. It's like, let's fucking get to it. Let's get to it.
Get it in there and get it done.
I can't stand that for doing that for so long. But yeah, I would definitely say if you are into more of the stuff that I kind of mentioned, like the industrial stuff, like very rhythmic kind of metal with maybe some brighter quality synthesizer. If you're into that kind of stuff, check this out. If you're not familiar, it definitely piqued my curiosity. I don't know if I would deep dive into this band or this genre, but it was definitely very different.
Yeah.
So,
and this would not be where I would, if you wanted to get into gothic metal, this would not be the album I would tell you to start with. Now, if you were a goth rocker, into bands like The Cure and Susie and the Banshees and stuff like that, this might be where you want to start.
Okay.
But if you're a metalhead who wants to get into gothic metal, I would recommend starting with some of their heavier, harsher stuff first.
And that would be some of the earlier albums.
Yeah, the albums like Gothic and let's see, what's another really good one? their first album, Lost Paradise, would be another one to jump into.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I would start with those and just kind of ease your way in, you know. So Believe in Nothing, was between the harsh sound and this sound and a few others like that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
Moving on to the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, God. Is this where we're going?
This is Dirt Road. So the reason that I actually suggested this is I was looking for a different song. I'm not super familiar with country. I kind of have some bands, some songs that I like, but I don't listen to top 40 country. I was looking for a song, and I think what I was looking for is a song called Dirt Road Anthem. But
Okay.
I went on the top country thing, and I saw Dirt Road, and I was like, oh, this is that song. So I played it, and then I listened to it, and I was like, it's not the song I was looking for, but this is horrible. So let's get into it. So this was actually pretty hard to pin down. Occasionally I'm finding songs like this that are like, this one I think is just so new, and the artist is really underdeveloped. He's generated a lot of success because of this song, but he doesn't have his like ducks in a row. I don't think he's signed to a label, so I don't think there's a lot of information on him outside of what he's written or people that he knows has written. So not a whole lot of information about him. I know he's from Hamilton, Georgia. And yeah, he made it. I think he's got over 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And I would say that I think this song got put on one of the Spotify or a couple of the Spotify playlists.
Okay.
And then he kind of blew up. So, Kid G, Kiddg.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I heard he's the son of Kenny G.
I think so. Yeah. Kenny G and Kid Rock made a baby. And it's this. Did you? I didn't. There were no challenges for this week. Oh no, there was one. You gave me one for
Yeah, I
paying,
gave you
but,
one. Yeah.
I don't think I gave you any.
You didn't, but listening to this song was a challenge enough. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's the no offense, kid. Here's the thing: is I like what he's going for in terms of like, this is way better than anything I wrote at 16. So I can't hate on him for that. And here's some things that I don't. I'm just gonna start with some things I don't like, and then some things that I do like. Things I don't like is, so there's a lyric in one of the verses. It's like, my buddy Nicky out the window, AR-15 got good aim. And at that point in the song, they cut back to a clip of Kid G shooting an AK-47. That kind of bugged me. And the reason it bugged me is because earlier in the music video, he has an AR-15. I was like, how, like, come on, continuity. Like, this teenage music video shoot didn't have a continuity person. So, and then the other thing that bothered me is, like, it really bugs me when they have like an instrument in the music video, and it, like, what the person's playing doesn't line up with the record. I don't like that. So that really bugged me. That was one of the first things. And it could be something as simple as the fact that, like, it's clearly on the record somebody's like picking with a pick, and like this person's like doing the thumb thing. It's like, that's not the same sound. So,
Yeah.
things that I did like, I actually like the music. I think I couldn't find a whole lot on the production of this, and like, if this kid did it himself or with his friends, like, the music video is definitely that level of just his friends got together, and so that's something I like. He has way better friends than I do.
And I didn't watch the music video.
Yeah,
so.
sorry, not to get too much into the music video, but I did. That was a component that I was like, I have to watch it. I was like, how did they? There was a music video, so I couldn't help myself. I do like the fact that he has way better friends than I do, because I would not have been able to pull this off at 16. And what makes me sad is how fast this kid's going to drown in pussy. Because I don't know who this girl is that broke your heart, but I think you're going to be okay, Kid G.
Yeah. I don't think he has good friends, because if he had real friends, they would tell him to make better music. But sorry.
This, by the way, is the Gucci Gang of country,
It is.
in my opinion.
That was my first thought. I was like,
That's kind of why I went with it.
we're finally getting people who are influenced by Kid Rock now,
Yeah.
and that's what he sounds like.
He's Kid Grok. That's what the G stands for.
But this reminds me of when I was living back home in Macon, and you might have these kind of kids here and everywhere. I'm not sure, but we had like these kids that were country, and I air quotes with the word country. But
Daddy's money country.
yeah, they were rich kids who daddy would buy them, the biggest, loudest pickup truck, and they would dress all country and all the way down to like the big Confederate flag in the back of the truck. But they would listen to like gangster rap. And it's like, I don't think you understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, but this is the kind of music that they would.
Yeah, and that's kind of the part of the reason I pitched it as like in the same spot that Gucci Gang was in for the last episode, is like the lines are just blurring. People, I want people to stop saying things like, on one side, like, oh yeah, I listen to pretty much everything but except that rap crap, or then the people on the other side is like, I listen to everything but country. It's like, you guys are so, like, these genres are becoming so close together in terms of what's popular. You're basically all just the same person. It's just like, do you want to talk about Glocks, or do you want to talk about Smith and Wessons? Do you want to talk about, what's the Cristal? Do you want to talk about Bud Light? It's like, you're just all talking about the same things. Like, it's almost just branding at this point, and then the instruments you use.
Right. And it's like with them, like, are you into country or hip hop? Because
they're kind of the same thing.
You can be into both, but you've got to understand that, when you wear the uniform of the country boy, and you listen to like the hardcore rap, you need to,
do some soul searching.
Yeah. I mean, you look stupid.
Your brain's malfunctioning because you're sort of attributing your outer persona and then the content that you're consuming. You're sort of chalking that up to your personality, and you need to do some work. Yeah. And I don't have a problem with people listening to whatever they want.
Right, I don't either, but
so there's this. Have you seen this movie? It's fucking awesome. It's a Canadian film, and it's called Fubar, Balls to the Walls, and it's about these two guys that they're idiots, and they go to work on the pipeline in Alberta and all this stuff, and it's fucking hilarious. We'll watch it at some point because it's got some like, it's hilarious. But there's this character in it who they go to work for, he's got the flannel and he's got the Copenhagen and the trucker cap, and he's pulling into work, and he's got his black coworker in the truck next to him, and they're riding in and they're listening to like gangster rap, and as they pull into the work site, they change the station to a country song, and like they have the windows rolled down, and it's like I think that's a hilarious joke, and I think this is kind of what we're touching on, is like, it's, you guys are on the same team. Yeah. You disagree about the uniforms. Yeah, you just need to, and also like I said, like the kids that I knew that would like act that way, and it's like, but these are the kind of guys that would be scared to death to ride through like the hood. And also, you can't be into gangster rap and have a big Confederate flag on your truck. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Those are two things that would be like, I don't know, going to see Schindler's List wearing like a Nazi uniform. It does not work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So, but I don't recommend this song. I thought it was very childish and just lame. Sorry,
I'm bummed. This is the one I wanted you to like more than anything.
Yeah, this is too much like. This is dollar store Kid Rock, as far as I'm concerned.
Off-brand.
Yeah, and
this is the Walmart brand cough medicine that you need.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's take something that I despise,
it's just PBR,
and get a cheaper version of what I despise, and that's what this is. Sorry if you guys like it. That's your business.
I think it's I think it's just evident of the times we're in,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
lines are getting blurred because maybe it's just the way music is being consumed now.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I attribute it to, and I could be wrong, but I see things moving into this more intertwined direction where it's like the only real difference is like I think it's like the Paula Deen conundrum, where she doesn't talk like that, but she talks like that when she's on her show to southern it up, and I feel like most of these people speak normally, and then they I mean, the next song is pretty evident of that, where they're like, we'll get into it, but he has a lyric, I put it in pork, and he says it like that so he can rhyme it with guitar.
Right.
And it's like, you guys are all just making the same music now, so everybody needs to get along at this point. Because your country, you got your country in my hip hop, and you got my hip hop in your country, and you guys just need to take a bite of that Reese's and chill the fuck out.
That's right. I like it.
And that's what we're doing with this show. So that's all I have to say. You wouldn't recommend this? I would recommend this to a 13-year-old girl who just can't make it work with her forever love.
I would recommend
this. Would give you some perspective on his side of things.
Yeah, I would recommend this to a 13-year-old boy who...
This guy has a really low tolerance for dipping tobacco, by the way. There's a lyric in this, like, Copenhagen got me buzzing, got me spinning in my brain. It's like, oh, you don't dip very much.
It's like, you'd have to eat a whole can of Copenhagen just to... But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're a young person, you might like this. Yeah. But, once you... I guess once you learn how to, like, read, then I think maybe this would be above your educational level.
You'll get there by 15. You'll get there, buddy.
Yeah. So...
The... kind of going back to the Milton thing, I listen to a lot of older country artists.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, big fan. Clint Black. Trying to think of some others now that I'm on the spot. Those are the two. Old. Yeah. But I think of it as like, I can't read a lot of the old classics because I just lose interest. And I think maybe nowadays a lot of younger people probably can't listen to those older country artists, like... God, why can I not think of his fucking name?
Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings.
Yeah, Waylon Jennings.
Okay,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ. I'm such a... that red button goes on and I become a fucking moron when it comes to recall. But yeah, maybe it's hard for them to get into that kind of stuff, So I don't know. Maybe this is the Chuck Palahniuk, where you get to stuff faster, I don't...
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't want these deep, heartfelt things. I want this, like... sugar-coated candy heartbreak.
Yeah, the kids want the quick fix and not the long road. So
talk about shit that I like. Talk about Fords and
Copenhagen,
four-wheel drive and
AR-15s,
Bud Light. And
yeah, I mean that's fun. We all listen to stupid stuff when we were learning.
I wish I could remember the first song that I wrote, because it was. I want to go back, figure out what that song was, because it was horrible, and then shoot a music video with all my friends and pretend to be a teenager again. No, he outdid me. I have no hate for him. I'm not trying to trash him. I hope he continues to develop as an artist, and because we all have our first thing we create, and I think sometimes people are cursed by early success, and I hope that doesn't happen to him. It's a catchy tune. It was in my head all last night, which sucks because I was trying to sleep.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been in my head this week. But yeah, it got. I just even Trish didn't like it, and she likes country.
She didn't like it.
She hated it.
Oh man.
Yeah,
we got to get her in on this.
She was not a fan. So sorry if you like it. It's fine. This is still better than Gucci Gang. If that helps.
Yeah, it's definitely a step up from Gucci Gang. Just I mean, he didn't. At least he didn't repeat like. Beretta, 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 Beretta. So there, I mean, he did write more than 17 words.
Yeah, that's true. So, but
I hope he got an A+ on his project.
All right. Well,
put this one to bed.
We'll put this in, please.
Put it down. Take it out back.
Take it out back and shoot it with an AR-15.
Yeah.
That looks like an AK-47.
I know that wasn't his fault. That was the director's fault. Though I'm sure he approved the final cut, so Kid G, do better. Come on.
Well,
His buddy Nicky wasn't even in the film. I don't actually have any proof.
yeah, Nicky might have been in parochial school or something. Nicky was on restriction.
Nicky went back to summer school.
Yeah, his mom grounded him.
Yeah. You ain't leaving this trailer today.
No, sir.
Not till all the dishes are done. We are back. I have drained my soy boy latte, and now you see me in my true form.
His true form.
I upgraded.
All right.
I am so thankful I have a woman who puts up with me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Who listens to country music about killing your old man if he does anything wrong?
Hey, but at least she's not a country songwriter. Because you come home and she'd be like, hey, babe, I want you to check out my new song. It's called I'm Going to Hang You. I'm going to hang you by your ankles and cut you.
It's not about you, sweetheart. It's about that other guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy I used to date.
Yeah.
No, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
All right, so we put that guy to bed. So we will
Put
move
him
on.
down.
We put him down. Which...
Back to real music.
So, and sorry, I had gotten them out of order. They were in my playlist in a different order.
That's okay.
So that's why
I'm a stickler for like order I send you and then order you sent me. So
yeah, that's how I do it too.
Very anal retentive. And that's reflected on the Spotify playlist LSD parentheses season parentheses. You can follow it on Spotify. That's going to be a wild playlist. I'm really looking forward to developing, because if you think about it, probably in maybe like a year and a half from now, we'll hit 100 episodes. That's 300 songs. That's 300 songs with probably 7 or 8 Kid G songs sprinkled in.
600 songs.
Oh yeah, you're a part of this podcast too. Sorry.
Good night, guys.
It's over. Cutting it up. No, that's less about you and more about the fact that I can't do math as an adult.
That's okay. You don't really need it. Like, your teachers lied to you. You won't need it.
I don't think so. I don't think I need it at all.
When I was a kid, they were like, it's not like you're going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have my phone, but yeah.
Genuinely, at all time. Look at that.
You have a calculator. You have a camera. You have everything.
Access to every piece of adult content ever created. And Tony's Steakhouse Menu. This episode of the podcast brought to you by Tony's Steakhouse. Disclaimer, no, it's not. I think we have to actually protect ourselves from that.
Yeah, easy.
Catatonia.
Catatonia. Let's get on to the next one. Catatonia, the song is Ghost of the Sun. This is off their 2003 album, Viva Emptiness. So,
I like it.
yeah, this was this is in the middle of their career. Like I said, they're one of the big three of Gothic metal. Catatonia hails from Sweden.
I'm always impressed at how good a lot of these foreigners can write in English.
Yes.
Especially songwriting, because that's a difficult thing to manage, and kind of, going off of Swedish. So do you know the song "Hooked on a Feeling"?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those guys don't actually speak English; they were just phonetically taught how to speak. Yeah, that whole song is 100%. They just taught them how to say the specific words. They had maybe they just had a good ear for English, but I mean, genuinely, this, and then the God, we talked about him just a couple weeks ago. Band from Sweden, metal band, Damnation. Why can I never think? Opeth.
Oh yeah, Opeth.
Opeth. Yeah, speaks or at least sings really good English. I don't know how good their linguistic skills are, but
that's actually odd that you bring up Opeth while we're talking about Catatonia, because their first two records, I think it was at least their first two records, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but the lead singer of Opeth was the lead singer for Catatonia.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He did all the harsh vocals on Catatonia's first couple of records.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. So that was very... There's so much synergy in this podcast.
Yeah, but those two bands are really good friends. Like the two singers especially are really good friends.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this was kind of
well, I mean, there's only like 4 people in Sweden, so I'm sure two of them don't like each other. But
yeah, well, there's ABBA, and then there's the other 4 people.
Yeah, ABBA, Catatonia, and then Opeth.
Opeth, yeah.
They all have the same members.
And the guys who did Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah.
And the Swedish Chef from the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back somewhere. But yeah, they started out kind of harsher and kind of started leveling out into what like this album sounds like. And they're still around. They progressed more into almost like a progressive goth, if that makes any sense. But it's very ethereal.
Odd times and synthesizers.
Yeah. But this is actually my favorite Catatonia record. And this is the most upbeat song on the record. That's why I gave you this one.
This one was the most upbeat?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How deep the rabbit hole goes.
It goes pretty deep, and it's a great record. I love this song too. This is the album opener, and what a great way to open your record with something like Goes to the Sun. But yeah, they're just they're still doing what they do. I think the lead singer Jonas, and I cannot remember his last name. He has an amazing voice.
He does. Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's consistent. He still sounds as great now.
So the screaming behind the chorus, is that the lead singer of Opeth, or is that a member of the...
That's a member of Catatonia. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. The lead singer of Opeth left recording with them long before this.
I really enjoyed the screaming element under the like sort of the more, I would say, like kind of tranquil vocals of the lead. It's cool. I like that. I like that dynamic, just to kind of start on that.
Yeah, but it's just the structure of like mixing in the screaming, and it really flows well, and it's, I don't know, it just kind of pumps you up.
Yeah,
in that kind of way.
I like the riff. It's a really interesting like rhythmic riff, and they go. I think it's a very odd key to like sing in. Mm-hmm. Like if I was presented with the instrumental, I don't really know that I would not be confident in singing, and I like the way he approaches it. I think he does a very good job. I gotta stop saying and like, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
I've been working on it.
I do it bad.
What was I gonna say? I really enjoyed this song. I really enjoyed the lyrics. Mm-hmm. The one drawback for me is, personally, when I write music, I try to avoid swear words. Mm-hmm. And it's not out of, I mean, I do worship our Lord and Savior Raptor Jesus, and he frowns upon swearing, but I don't personally frown upon swearing. I've always been under the sort of the assumption that there's a better way to say something than swearing. And the chorus is, I trusted you, you lied, it's all been a fucking lie. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get mixed up with the wording, and then don't give a shit. So there's two swear words kind of like back to back, and it's like the verses are so well constructed and thought out lyrically that it kind of just like downgrades the chorus for me. Just I know you're trying to express like very deep frustration, and you're trying to express the feeling of being betrayed, and I get that. It's just, that's the one point of criticism that I have of this wildly successful band.
Right. And I agree. I think that, only like, if you're going to use swear words, only use them to really bring a point home.
Yeah.
I think a lot of music in every genre, they overdo it for shock value, but it's not
anymore.
No, there's no shock to it anymore. But if you want to really, and I get where he was coming from, but it could have done without it, and still would have. And Catatonia doesn't really use a lot of bad language in their songs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a rarity to hear that.
Well, in this song, it's because just from the sound perspective and how he sings with it, it's got this like sort of ethereal, I mean, almost like I would say, like otherworldly kind of sound to it. Like it's very interesting sounding, and then to tie that in with the lyrics and like City of Glass that I live in, it's very, very well thought out, and then just that little bit of swearing it just kind of took me out of it. It was
it's very misplaced in the song
just because of how well it would be like listening to somebody speak who's like very well spoken, and all of a sudden they start using like really derogatory language. It just kind of takes you out of it. You're like, wait, what's happening? And this is coming from someone who swears every 6 seconds on the podcast. But when you're making something on the record, when it's going to be listened to over and over and over again, I just personally, I try to avoid it unless it's like absolutely necessary.
Right. And
so that's the only point of criticism I have. And I know there's a ton of people who would disagree with that point. I loved the sound. I loved everything about the song so much. This was the one thing that I could kind of point to. So, but I would definitely recommend it, especially to those Hot Topic goth kids. This is a really interesting, I think, as you say, start to a record.
Yeah.
This would be, or just, I mean, that was kind of tongue in cheek. Anybody really. This was I would say the most interesting sounding and constructed song that you pitched this week for me.
Okay.
I really liked it. And I love the name Catatonia, like, sort of playing off catatonic.
Yeah, there's some kind of like underlying reference to the name of their band, and I've forgotten it, oddly enough. But this is, this album to me is a great introduction to this band, even though it's kind of like in the middle of their career.
Yeah.
But
are they still active?
Yes, they
cool.
are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool.
So, but yeah, and with I really like the his writing style, and like you said, throwing in unnecessary swear words does kind of throw it off because he is very well spoken.
It's like reading like a perfect poem, but somebody used like flabbergasted in it, and it's like, or not flabber. I was thinking of, I don't know, just like a weird word, just something out of place, like.
Yeah. And he in some of their other songs, he's able to get the point across in the same way without using any kind of like swear words.
And that's kind of what I was thinking, is like,
because he has a lot of good conviction in his voice.
It almost is like it would have been better if they were swearing the whole time, and then you wouldn't have noticed it, or just to avoid it, because it was used so sparsely, just those 2 times in a recurring chorus. But I'm sorry to just beat that horse to death.
No,
I know I'm in my religious get up today.
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense. Yeah. So, and I can actually completely agree with that.
Catatonia is ruining America's youth. They're coming over here with their meatballs and their IKEA furniture, and they're corrupting your children. They're taking them to a dark place.
We got a bomb Sweden.
We got a bomb. Kill them all. Hang them up. Hang them by their shitty CD collector racks. Remember those things? You'd have like 50 CDs on one side. It always broke.
Yep.
So you could only fit 49. I had one of those.
Yeah, I went through a lot of those.
Yeah.
It just kind of like, they always had that lean to them.
It took 2 hours to put together. It was always missing screws or wooden pegs or whatever.
But anyway. So you recommend?
Absolutely. I recommend to your grandma, your mom, Kid G, everybody.
Kid G, you can learn from these guys.
Yeah. This is real heartbreak.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse. I would like to say that I'm not going to pull any more from this record.
Okay.
So I would recommend you to dig into this record.
Oh, let me write something down real quick.
It's a good thing you have that pen.
That doesn't work. Catatonia. And it's called Viva
Emptiness.
Viva Emptiness.
I mean, if that's not an awesome album title, I don't know what is.
That is really cool. Way better than Viva La Vida.
Yes.
By Coldplay. And then the other one was Death Angel.
Death Angel, Act 3.
Now I can log this.
Look at you.
I can write pretty good. I can never read my own handwriting. It's horrible.
Yeah,
especially when I'm songwriting and I'm trying to write fast. Oh yeah. God. A's look like H's and Z's somehow. It's horrible.
Yeah, I have terrible handwriting.
Every teacher that ever passed me, thank you. Any chance there was to type whatever it was, report or any chance to type, I had to type because they were like, my teachers always had that moment with me. They were like, hey, look, your handwriting is the worst handwriting I've ever seen. Type everything.
we would get graded on our penmanship when I was in elementary school.
Oh.
And I always got like a B, because my thing is, real quick, I write with my right hand, but I'm left hand dominant.
Interesting.
So when I write, if you ever, for you YouTube viewers, people listening to the podcast are going to be lost.
Dude,
for a
the
minute.
audio people are super excited about this.
They are.
Hold it right up to the mic. Yeah, I got you.
But I hold my, see how I hold my pen? Like a lefty. And I write like that. It's all right. See?
You hold it like a lefty?
Yeah.
What does that mean, hold it like a lefty?
Lefties hold this is how people who write right hand, hold the pen.
Yeah.
See how you hold your pen?
Yeah.
All right. Left-handed people hold their pens like this, and they write like this.
I have never noticed that.
Yeah. So I hold my pen like a lefty, and I write almost upside down.
This is a whole new lane for me. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Next time you're around someone who's left-handed, watch them write.
In the 50s, they would have put you in jail.
No, because I went to school in the 80s. Everyone had to write right-handed.
Oh, they made you.
My wife got away with it. Trish is left-handed, but they never got around to making her be a righty. So I play guitar left-handed, and I use the word play guitar loosely.
You hold it that way.
Yeah, I'm left-hand dominant. Everything I do is left-handed except for right.
That's weird.
Isn't it weird?
So, just going back to the penmanship real quick, I remember my second grade cursive teacher told me I would not be able to get into college because of my cursive penmanship. And then I changed schools like 3 or 4 years later, and because it was mandatory to write in the Catholic school system cursive from second grade on.
We had to.
Yeah,
Also.
and I went to this new school, and they were like, "Write it however you want. We don't care."
Yeah, we had to write in cursive up until I think middle school.
Yeah.
But yeah, cursive for all you kids. That's a different way of writing where all your letters are connected.
It's how it looks like I'm writing. I'm writing in print, but it looks like cursive because I have horrible handwriting. Moving on to what I would consider the most guilty pleasure song that I have. This is the ice cream sundae with a waffle and sugar on top, with an after dinner warhead, and this is the gumdrop of country music, Cruise by the Florida Georgia Line, written by Brian Kelly, Tyler Hubbard, Joey Moy, Chase Rice. Good God, can you believe there's this many writers? Jesse Rice, no relation. Produced by Joey Moy. This song went platinum. It's 11 times platinum, certified diamond. Baby, you're a song. You make me want to roll my windows down. Let's hear what you have to say.
First of all, Trish loves this song.
I figured.
And it was actually a lot of fun to listen to it.
I'm really surprised she didn't like Dirt Road because that's basically 16-year-old Cruise. Kind of.
She didn't because, I don't know, she doesn't have any head injuries. But no, Cruise, it's a fun song.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it says it is. I really dug it. It was fun. It had all the tropes of just like cruising around, especially, we're from Georgia.
Yeah.
That's like real life when you're growing up,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a fun, like, I hate to say the word toe tapper or foot tapper, but it was just, like you said, it was just a nice ice cream sundae in a PBR can. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a PBR float, if you will.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
With a side order of Marlboros and,
some Copenhagen to finish you off.
Copenhagen and,
this song, I think it generated like pretty moderate success when it first. I think moderate. I use like it was pretty popular, but what really made it popular is Nelly did a remix. Which if Nelly remixes your song, you're going 11 times platinum. So Nelly, if you're out there, I've got a couple coming out. So if you want to remix, please feel free. But that's what like really blew them up. I think they even there was a tour around Nelly and Florida Georgia Line, and I want to say it was like Kid Rock or something. It was something like that. I can't remember exactly, but they again, this is a good example of like going back a couple years. pop music, hip hop, country, grindcore. It's all becoming the same thing.
Grindcore. And these guys have been around for a while, and they have been very popular. I mean, I was familiar with Georgia Florida Line before, but I mean, this is just, they just make that like feel good country pop music.
Yeah, I think they coined, I don't know if this band coined the term, but around this time the term was coined bro country. That's
okay.
Really apropos. Just looks, sounds, what they're talking about. And I mean, really, this was, I think there were some songs that came before it that kind of touched on this, but every song after this is like blue jeans and pickups and having a good night with beer. So, I mean, really just like pivotal moment for the genre and like where it's going. Cause like, you know, we talking earlier about Waylon Jennings and Clint Black and Willie Nelson. They wouldn't be able to get away with these kind of songs.
No.
In their heyday.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But it's a different time. And yeah, I mean, it's a good place for the genre to go, I think.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's making money.
Yeah.
So, the only thing I don't like is when he's like, and like I said, guilty pleasure song, only listen to it by myself.
Yeah.
So that whoever's riding with me doesn't strangle me. But he says pork to rhyme it with it. I put it in pork and I just can't. You don't talk like that. I know you don't talk like that. It doesn't park guitar. It doesn't rhyme. Change it up.
Come up with something else.
Write it. There's 5 writers on this. You couldn't rhyme something with guitar.
That to me was the most shocking. Was it took so many people to write such a simple song.
Yeah. And I think if I'm not mistaken, these are like dudes in the band.
Yeah.
So maybe they all had their little pitches, and it was political and like, hey, I said put it in park and grab my guitar.
No, I said put it in pork.
Put it in pork. Put it on a shirt. Put it in pork.
Yeah, but it's a good song. You know, if you're driving through Georgia, this is a good song for that.
It gets you. You just put it on repeat, and before you know it, you'll be in Hamilton, Georgia, hanging out with Kid G.
Put it in revoice, not pork.
I like it.
But yeah,
recommend?
I recommend. It's a fun song. It's It's just.
This is surprising that this. So is this the one you like most out of the 3?
This is the one I like the most.
That's interesting. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't expect Kid G, but I definitely didn't expect.
Yeah. This one was between this one and You Lie. They were, you know, for what they were, I enjoyed them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a feel good song. It's just a fun drinking song.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna listen to it on purpose, but.
You mean on porpoise?
Exactly.
Popping right out of the South Georgia border. They don't speak good.
No, they don't speak well.
And that's, you know, they were worried about my penmanship. Fuck. Should be worried about the fact that I don't speak well.
All right, so I guess we are now at Pain.
Wait, no. That's Catatonia riff. They get, I think Pain's Black Knight Satellite gets catchy song of the week, but Catatonia gets catchy riff of the week. Holy shit. One thing I didn't say about, I really liked the use of like the effecty kind of guitars, because you don't see that a lot with American metal. It's like pretty standard, overdriven, like that sort of classic sound, and then they continue to kind of push it. But I really like that. A lot of European metal bands go for the more effecty kind of stuff, like Gojira.
Yeah,
they're cool with using whammy wah-wah pedals and effects on the guitar, and I like that. I like that a lot more.
So we got Pain. The name of the song was Black Knight Satellite from their newest album, Coming Home, which came out in 2016.
Still active? Still active,
yes. Pain is the one band where you could they almost are more industrial than they are gothic. But I've heard them call it both. Mm-hmm. So I figured it was a safe slide in there.
Sure.
And I also love Pain. It's one guy, and he just...
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And he just creates all of this, and then when they tour, he just brings on a backing band.
Oh, okay, so he's kind of like the guy from Ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But the thing with Payne is it can be dark, but it's also he has a very good like tongue in cheek sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of their songs are just entertaining, but kind of like a dark humor way. Black Knight Satellite was just a little different tribute, which if you did your homework.
I did. Thankfully, I have Google, and it was the first thing that came up. So if it was hard to nail down like a clear, like linear thing, but essentially it's just this conspiracy theory that there's this extraterrestrial satellite that was put here 13,000 years ago. We can't see it looking out, but NASA has
there's some pictures of it online.
Yeah, and it was like NASA was like, this is space debris, and they're like, no, it's Black Knight satellite. It's looking at us. It's cool. I like it because like sort of, I mean, obviously this is a conspiracy, but like thematically it kind of reminded me of like Electric Eye by Judas Priest. So it was kinda, like I kind of liked the whole like, oh, it's spying on you, it's watching you watch me watch you.
It was almost like a kind of a play on Electric Eye.
Yeah.
As also almost being like an ode to the Black Knight satellite.
Right.
You know.
And
so
he definitely gets my vocals for it was kind of like a nice in between of like Paradise Lost with that kind of more gritty kind of sound and the pretty sounding Catatonia. Like he's like kind of right in there, and that chorus is really catchy.
Yeah.
I really like it.
But yeah, I was going somewhere. Yeah.
Thoughts? Oh, sorry, did I take away from it?
No, you're good. But yeah, I mean, a lot of their stuff is kind of like not on that subject matter, but more like, not so deep and dark, just kind of, which the style of music you would expect it to be a lot more dark.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's kind of just writing about this thing he probably is like semi into, like looking into. I get that way with conspiracies a lot. I'll dip the toe in just to see what people are saying. Like I follow some of the QAnon stuff, not to like any serious degree. I just like to hear what people are saying because I think it's batshit crazy. Like a good example was the flat Earth people.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, it can't get dumber than this. And then you get the space is fake people, and it's like, oh, how deep does this go? And then you find QAnon, and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
So there is no rock bottom to the depth of human stupidity when you get a bunch of people together talking. So
yeah.
But I don't think he's approaching this as like, I need to spread awareness about the Black Knight satellite. I think it's more of like, this is a funny cultural thing, and I'm gonna sing about it. And
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of the lyrics that he writes are more tongue in cheek. Not to be taken too seriously. And a lot of the lyrics are actually really fun.
Yeah.
But
it's been around for 13,000 years.
So yeah, but I would definitely recommend you checking out just this album right now.
Okay.
There's some more pain I want to shovel. I want to inflict on you.
Pain. And the album is
Coming Home.
Coming Home.
Yeah.
I love the artwork for it.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah. Very basic, but really, really cool image.
Mm-hmm.
Super sweet imaging.
And there's a lot of fun like lyric topics on this album that
are
really fun.
Does it get dark? Because I don't like dark stuff.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
This is more of a fun one. And so I looking at that, he just has two records.
No,
or was I wrong about that?
You're wrong.
I just saw the.
No, they have.
Oh, good. Oh, he's very active. Okay.
Yeah, he started out in the first album came out in '97.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So and did he start out as this kind of like in this genre? How old is this genre with like using metal tropes and synthesizers and because it always seems like Europe's like kind of ahead of us, and then we just take stuff from them that's
pretty much
that people like, and then we make all the money off of it.
Yeah,
like that's very.
And then we sell it back to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that happened. I mean, I think a genre that I was really into for a while was dubstep, and that originated in England as like kind of an offshoot from a lot of the like early electronica stuff that was happening, and then people like 12th Planet and Dr. P, like a lot of the early adapters took that came back here, and then they became big, and then, you know, it blows up, and then Skrillex is like one of the most popular electronic artists of all time, and we make all the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is something that they've been doing over in Europe for years with the industrial metal and all that stuff going on like that.
All the way back to the 90s.
Probably even late 80s.
Oh, wow.
To be honest with you. He's also the lead singer of a death metal band called Hypocrisy, which has been around for quite a while.
Okay, and where's he from?
Germany.
Oh, okay.
He's actually really good. His name is Peter Taktgren, and if I mispronounced that, I apologize. But he also has a side band with the lead singer of Rammstein.
Cool.
Yeah, Till Lindemann, and the name of the band is Lindman. Excuse me.
Very cool.
So, but yeah.
I talk about a band that I haven't listened to very much, Rammstein, but so many people really like it, especially in Europe, obviously. I would say more so than here, but I know they always like, it seems like every couple of years, like I see on the music sites, the lead singer of Rammstein lands himself in hot water because he's like one of those dudes that really likes pushing the envelope. He's sort of like Marilyn Manson over here, like, you know, he'll wipe his ass with an American flag, and you're like, how much bigger can the controversy get? And then it turns out he's like sexually assaulting people. And,
Yeah.
and like, oh, again, there's no rock bottom to how deep human debauchery goes.
Nope, and we just keep proving it more and more.
Dude, it's so...
constantly. So, but recommend? Don't?
Absolutely. This was, I think, Catatonia is like more of like, I would think like a deeper cut thing that I'll come back to and be like, oh, yeah. But this is one I would like put on a playlist and like listen to pretty frequently. I really liked, I'm really excited to check out the album because I think it's just, out of the three, it's probably the most it has the most mainstream appeal. Just with, it's like a song. It gets stuck in my head. That's like the chorus. So I think people would enjoy it.
And a lot of the songs, especially on this record, they'll stick in your head.
Yeah.
And it's just enjoyable. I mean, you wouldn't expect that from gothic or industrial metal, but it's fun. This is actually a very fun record to listen to. And some of their other stuff is fun, but I would rather you stay away from their other stuff right now.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Dip your toe in slowly.
Yeah, because I'm going to expose you to some more pain.
God. I like pain.
Ugh.
I really like pain. I bought the T-shirt. What do you want to wrap up with today, dude? We got through it. I'm really glad we got through Kid G, because I can start us off. Just going off of, we were talking about country kids and dipping earlier.
Yeah.
Just a little story out of high school. So I switched schools in 10th grade and was trying to make friends, so I was pretty much willing to do anything. And some of those Daddy's Money country kids invited me to the bathroom, and they fucked me. No, just they pulled out a can.
Where is this going?
What a bomb that would be.
I think the mushroom just kicked in.
So they had a can of like dip pouches, and it was something weird. It was like fucking Fruity Berry or so. It was like Jolly Ranch. I don't know. It was weird. It was like berry flavored dip pouches, and they were like, oh yeah, just take a couple. First time dipped. I'd smoked cigarettes, but never dipped, and I think it was like 2 or 3 on my bottom jaw, and I went to spit in the urinal, and they were like, oh no, dude, just gut it, like just swallow it. And I was like, oh okay. And I was standing there, we were kind of talking back and forth, and like 5 minutes later, I would just like felt this wave of like the most nauseous, gut-wrenching feeling I've ever felt. I ripped all of them out, threw it in the urinal, and just power puked into this thing. The only time I've puked harder is when I took LSD and ate a barbecue sandwich. We can talk about that if we want. But so I puked super hard. And this was like second period. This is like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing my first dip, horseshoeing it and swallowing the dip spit. Ugh. And I just went to the nurse, and she was like, You sick? You look sick. Go home. I was like, okay. Called my mom. Came and picked me up.
I don't feel good. I got tummy ache.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the LSD story?
Sure.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't have a good ending for it yet, but it was the first EDM show I went to, which this is good because this will get us into
segue into next week's.
Had a really fun time. Couldn't tell you who played, but I
don't feel bad. If I went to an EDM show, I wouldn't be able to tell you who played either.
And it's all it's just, yeah, it's all that shit. Yeah.
For 4.5 hours. Sorry.
And so we all went, my buddies and I. It's in Montana, and we were, as you do in your 20s, we were trying to find drugs. That was the thing to do.
Okay.
It was very dry. Couldn't find anything. And then there's this really cute girl who's really short, kind of I could tell was trying to see over everybody. I was like, you want to hop on my shoulders? And she was like, yeah. And this was her favorite artist or whatever. So I had her on my shoulders. I like kind of worked my way to the front. And then we were there, I had her on there up for like 20, 25 minutes. And she was like, okay, you could put me down now. And I was like, okay. So I walked her back out of the crowd and then set her down. And I couldn't really hear her over the... and so all I hear was I heard acid, and I was like, oh, sorry, I don't have any. And she was like, no, do you want some? And I was like, yes. And she just put a tab on my tongue, and this was up to that point the strongest LSD I'd ever taken, and rolled for 7 or 8 hours after this. So we, the concert wraps up. We hear there's this after party at at a bar downtown, not far from where we were. So I was like, I'm driving. And no, I didn't. I didn't drive that night. And so we end up at this bar. And one of the things that I had yet to learn about psychedelics is generally don't want to eat on them.
Yeah.
But I was so hungry because I had been dancing and I was trying to stay hydrated, but I hadn't had any food that day. And there was a food truck selling what I can only describe as the most disgusting looking barbecue sandwiches I've ever seen. Disgusting in a good way, just like slathered with barbecue, just like big old meaty. There was a professional photographer at the show that was like, can I get some photos of you eating this monstrosity? It's like, of course. So they're online somewhere of me just chowing down on this barbecue sandwich. Stupid LSD brain me goes, this would be a perfect time to go inside and start dancing again. Now that I'm refueled and full of barbecue sandwich, I put it in pork. I put the pork in me, and
okay.
Well, I was trying to tie it into how he says.
And your
pork.
guitar. I'm still trying to rhyme guitar with you.
Pork. I got my pork in me. I go inside, start dancing, and then about 15 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I don't feel good, and I run to this alley not far from the bar, and I projectile vomit, which I'd never done to that point. And I was so high that I was just impressed at what my body was. I didn't even feel it. I was just like, I'm like a fire hydrant of vomit right now. It was really cool. And
I actually saw a fire hydrant of vomit. They were at Ozfest.
Yeah.
O2.
Opening up for Catatonia.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And so I walked back to the bar, not feeling good. Neglected to mention that the concert was a paint party, so they had fire hoses and they were shooting paint on us, and it was really, everybody's got glow sticks and really cool. The tallest cop I've ever seen gets out of the tiniest cop car I've ever seen, and I don't think it was the drugs. This guy was like 7'5", and again, I couldn't hear him over the.
Sorry.
All I hear is like hit you in the face, and I was looking at him like, please. I just said, please don't hit me in the face, because this dude is like, I'm looking at like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talking about hitting something in the face, and he's like, no, did you get hit in the face? And I was like, no, this is paint from the party. I'm not high. And he just like rolls his eyes and walks away from me. And I got to come up with an ending for that story.
That was a good ending. I mean,
Yeah, it always kind of falls a little flat, but that was What were we talking about? Projectile vomiting. So. What's your edition?
I don't even know if I can top that one right now.
Well,
so yay.
Hopefully we didn't isolate the fan base.
No.
I know you guys are good, devout, Christian Jesus boys, just trying to do the Lord's work. So forgive me not for my past sins. I'm striving towards a better future.
And I'm pretty sure the Lord does not like EDM.
He created it. Jesus drops that bass. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Let's play us out, John. Till next time. Oh, Jonathan. I love you, buddy.
I love you.